Boom! Boom! I am live, I think. Can everyone hear me? Let's first get the technical aspects of this out. So I see a bunch of people in the chat already. You guys been hanging out for a few minutes? That's awesome. So can everyone hear me? Is the mic working? I think last time I muted this thing for like 2 minutes and I didn't even realize. So this time I'm going to try to do better at paying attention to the chat while looking at the camera. This is like harder to do than you think, folks. But good evening, everyone. Thanks for coming along. We got a bunch of people in here. Frank Reynolds, I saw your email. I'm going to add you as my one and only moderator, if you don't mind. Just so I don't have to worry about spam and stuff in the comments, because folks, it's hard to like look at the camera, pay attention to the chat and stuff. This is like putting on a show, I swear to God. So I did make an agenda for this. I'm the kind of person who likes to have structured time, as you know. But I don't think I can go a full 4 hours like I did on New Year's Eve, Christmas Eve. So I only structured about 2 hours of time tonight. I don't think we need to do a countdown. I mean, it's not like New Year's Eve, you know what I mean? But I just set this live stream up because I wanted to celebrate the beginning of spring, give ourselves a pat on the back. I know a bunch of my viewers from the comments also live in vehicles, and a lot of you just live in cold parts of the country, New England, the Great Lakes, and let's face it, winter just sucks. So this is to celebrate the end of cold, the end of winter, the end of winter. I have not spoken like all day, folks. I've been on spreadsheets and stuff. So sorry if I'm a little hoarse. All right, let's see who we have in the chat. Andrea Thompson, 280. Good evening, Matt. Well, thank you. Good evening to the gang as well. Lorraine, where's everyone from? I recognize some of these names. Frank Reynolds, I think you're from Mass, right? If you're the Frank I'm thinking about. Connecticut here, Vetterman 0177. Are you named after Eddie Vedder by any chance? 2 hours is fine. Yeah, 2 hours is awesome. West Philadelphia. Alberta, Canada. That is the farthest I see so far. Alberta's beautiful. I want to go back there. The best hike I ever did was to Mount Assiniboine on the Alberta side of whatever those mountains, the Rocky Mountains that are there. Alberta is just beautiful. So people are responding. I guess that means that my mic is working and everything is working. So let me just tell you folks what I plan to do tonight. 8 p.m. I don't know if this is visible. This is probably the worst kerneling I've ever done on like a hand-drawn agenda. Didn't leave enough space between the lines, I realize now. But 8:15, I want to talk about some upcoming projects because I have a lot of stuff coming in next week. Stuff that I've been talking about for a long time that I'll be excited to get this van in better shape. 8:30, making a spring tonic. Yeah, I'm going to be cooking up something tonight. I have my camp heater going over there. I'm going to rely on y'all to remind me that I have an open flame in the background because I think I forgot one of those two last times. 8:45 road trip dates. So yes, I think we decided last time I'm doing a road trip towards the Great Lakes part of the country, a place that I only like skedaddled through maybe one day before on an earlier road trip. I want to explore it more. I put in time off request for work this week, got it approved. So I have dates for that. I want to do some planning, get some good advice from you all. Maybe you know of some good places, like good events going on during that window. I will be doing one toast because, hey, it's a reason to celebrate, the first day of spring. This might not be an official holiday, but this is like the most important holiday to me, honestly. Ever since I moved into a van, I look forward towards the first day of spring. I did a whole video called like Countdown, milestones to spring, you know what I mean? Trying to pay attention to the chat. We got Maryland here. We got Manchester, New Hampshire. I miss Moby Dick from Ontario, Canada. I miss Moby Dick too. Oh my God, do I miss him. We had a stretch of some fairly warm weather like a week ago, maybe in the 60s. And I thought so much about bringing Moby Dick out and just throwing him down. And then I was walking over some river and there was still ice, like chunks of ice flowing down the river. And I'm like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't, you know. You got to worry about the shock of the cold and also like the weight of your clothes and stuff. If you go overboard, your fingers go numb. So Moby Dick, unfortunately, will not be coming out for about 2 more months. I'm going to wait until Memorial Day in mid to late May, which is also when the campgrounds open. So speaking of campgrounds, that's my 9:30. I have booked a few campgrounds already for this year. If you live in Mass, they all go on sale like February 15th or 19th or something like that. All the DCR state campgrounds. So I went online. I booked a bunch of them, like Saturday nights, some great places. Lake Denison, of course, and a few other places. But I've learned like doing this. Like I only started doing campgrounds when I got into the van life thing, like 3, 4 years ago. I've learned like you need to book these things early in the year. Like the good sites get snatched up fast. So I want to get some good campground feedback from you all at good campgrounds in the Great Lakes because I'm going to be there for a couple weeks and elsewhere in the country. Chat Q&A 9:45. Listen, I'm going to try to pay attention to the chat much better than I have in past live streams. But in case I miss anything, I'm just leaving that window for me to scroll through here, see anything I miss, and I'll catch up then. I think the number one like blast negative feedback I got on my first live stream was that I missed all these chats and didn't respond to people. So I'm probably doing that right now, but I'm just trying to get through the agenda. So bear with me, folks. And then 10 p.m., we'll see how it goes. I've had a long day. I did work today, full 8 hours. I'm doing this big new project at work and it's just kind of exhausting. So I don't know if I can go past 10. We'll see how it goes. All right, so where else we got? Florida. Yeah, I love Florida. Raydell Linton from Greensburg. Greensburg where? Oh, Greensburg, Pennsylvania. Okay. Hilltown Property Care, Berkshire Love. I saw your username. I figured you were like in the Berkshires or something because I'm not sure what other states throw around the word Hilltown that much. Maybe more. I don't know. What am I talking about? Q&A only 15 minutes. Well, I'll do more than that. I mean, we'll see. I'm just leaving that, like I said, as a window to catch up so I can turn and look my head and say, oh, yeah, I need to look at the chat screen. And we got folks from Hinsdale, Mass. Yeah, a lot of locals. Pittsfield. Wear a float vest in cold water, says Nern 8087. Oh, definitely. Oh, God, yeah. You hit that water, it's just like a shock to the system. It could be beautiful outside, but man, water is not something to mess around with, It starts making your brain go haywire. And your fingertips stop working. You're trying to crawl back into the boat. I have Moby Dick is one of those origami kayaks by a company called Oru. And they're not really a kayak. They're more like a flat bottom boat. They don't have a keel. So calling it a kayak is a misnomer. You can't really pedal it like a kayak. And I've fallen out of that thing like so many times when you get into and get out of it. It's not like sturdy wood, sturdy plastic. It's all kind of like flimsy. It takes a bit of getting used to. So I do live in fear of going overboard. Don't want that to happen. Hey, Matt, IDC326. Hey, y'all. I swear before it told me how many people are in the chat. Either we have, 222 people. Is that right? Am I reading the right thing? There's 222 people here. I should not be this close to the mic, should I? This is a cool mic, isn't it? Hypercast or Hyperquad or something, I think it's called. Will film soon kayaking Ashmere, says for the record, Your Honor. You're gonna kayak Ashmere? I would love to kayak Ashmere. I would kayak the north side of Ashmere. If you don't know, Lake Ashmere is a lake here in the Berkshires, a very pretty one, near the town where I grew up in, actually. Part of it might actually be in Peru. We got Seattle. Oh, good. I was hoping to see some more West Coast people. What time is it over there? 8, 7, 6, 5 p.m. So y'all just got out of work. Yeah, timing these things is like a bit of a science. I tend to just stick to the East Coast time for everything. It's just like easier for me. I feel like the bulk of my followers are East Coast, but I really have no idea. Audio is great. Awesome. Yeah, this not cool or what? I think I did a video getting this. This was the last microphone they had at a Walmart. I got it like one day before my last live stream. And it turns out it's pretty awesome. It looks pretty awesome too. Quadcast, hypercast, quad, some combination of quad and hyper and cast. I forget the name of the thing. It's not printed on it. Mic is awesome. For the camera, I've learned to use my phone as the main camera. I did buy a separate webcam, but the quality is actually somehow worse than the iPhone camera. So I'm using the iPhone camera for this. Problem with that, of course, is I can't use my phone to like receive text messages or anything. So I don't know. I was thinking maybe buying a second phone and just using one phone for all the video recording and stuff, and having the second phone as like my actual phone. Is that what other YouTubers do? I don't know. I don't know. It's dinner time in Montana. Just drove across country, says Just Judy. Yeah, well, thank you for joining me for dinner. I really appreciate that. Hilltown Property Care, hit us up for the record. Your Honor and Nitty Gritty Garage, we will plan to kayak under the tower. Awesome. I think you're talking to other people there. Kayak under the tower? What tower? I missed that. I'm trying to scroll back up. Where can you kayak under a tower? I would love to see that. Hilltown Property, you're also asking, do I use Starlink? I've told the Starlink story before. I do not use Starlink now. I had Starlink for a year and a half. When Starlink first went up, like on sale, I was, I think, number 193, the 193rd person to put an order in when Elon Musk gave that presentation. Then I had to wait like 3 years to get the dish delivered. So I was one of the early adopters of Starlink. And that thing worked for about a week, and then it just stopped working. And I put in, there was like no number you can call. There's no customer service at all. I put in a ticket, and they didn't respond to the ticket for like 4 weeks. And when they did, they didn't give me my money back. They just gave me credit for another month, and that kept going. My Starlink like almost never worked, and there's no one you can reach. Needless to say, it was a horrible experience with Starlink. I hope they've gotten better now. You know, like I said, I was one of the early adopters, and it was probably all very glitchy back then. But just the way they treated me, like I canceled, and then they started rebilling me again a few months later. I had to threaten to sue to get out of that. So that's the Starlink story. That's why I don't use Starlink. I'll wait for the Amazon alternative. It's called like Gaia or Kuiper or something. Gonna be the same thing. Listen, I'm not like a Musk hater or anything like that. I love SpaceX. I love technology. I just had a very bad experience with Starlink. I wouldn't recommend it to anybody. I don't use it myself. I've actually gotten by just fine with AT&T. I got a tethering plan on my phone, so I can get internet through that, and it's like $90 a month, which is way cheaper than Starlink, and I can fill in the gaps with Wi-Fi at all the coffee shops I go to. That's why I go to coffee shops so much. I think a regular comment, another thing I should talk about is why I don't make coffee in here. Coffee, going out to coffee shops, I will say is probably my number one expense. I spend 20 to 30 bucks a day at coffee shops. That includes my 2 bagels, coffee, normally like 2, sometimes 3 rounds of coffee. I do that for the social experience of going to a coffee shop and the Wi-Fi. You know, it's not just about the coffee to me. I like getting out of here first thing in the morning. I also like having my breakfast with the coffee. So if I were to make coffee in here, I'd also have to make breakfast in here, and then it's starting to become a big production. Also, I had a coffee maker in here for a while, and those things are a pain in the ass to store. So, yeah, that's why I don't make my own coffee. But you're all totally right that I spend a lot of money at coffee. But coffee shops, like I said, it's worth it to me for now. It works. You ran 13 hours today. That's awesome, Tom. 13 hours or 13 miles? You ran for 13 hours, like on your feet? What am I missing in the chat here? Amazon Leo. Yes, that's the new thing. Low Earth orbit, I guess, is what they're naming it after. I will probably try that again, but knowing these like billionaire companies, that might just be like Starlink 2.0 with like no customer service line. I don't know. Right now, tethering and coffee shop Wi-Fi has worked for me. I'm gonna ride it until it doesn't work. Well worth a coffee if you love the bagel in the morning. Right, it is. And like I said, coffee shops, it's about the social experience. Sometimes I see people, sometimes I talk to people. I'm a regular at a lot of coffee shops. Like there's one in Oak Square in Brighton. I see a guy there that I also see at the Holyoke one. And we have our own little network of like coffee shop regulars that we all stay in touch with. So I love coffee shops. I think van life and coffee shops just go hand in hand, at least here in like an urban part of the country. You know what I mean? My coffee order, I get my coffee black, but I like it with like the flavored stuff in it. They sometimes have like a banana, what's this flavor? Banana chocolate, banana hazelnut, banana something. I will always get the banana stuff. Free internet 100%. Don't blame me, says Rad Bad. Exactly. I go to these coffee shops. Yeah, I'm paying like, what, $4 for the coffee, but I'm getting Wi-Fi for free for like 4 hours. Another thing about coffee shop etiquette, I don't like to stay at a coffee shop for more than 4 hours. I will do half my day there, then I'll take my lunch break, and then I'll go somewhere else. And while I'm at a coffee shop, I go up and buy like a second round of stuff. I justify my presence. I feel like I do an okay job with that. Heist 444. I love Oak Square. Oak Square is awesome. Oak Square is a neighborhood in Boston, like out near where Boston College is, where I went to grad school. And it's the last place where I had my apartment for the last 2 years. I lived right there in Oak Square, and I keep going back there because when I first moved into the van, when my lease ended on August 31st, 2021, I was so scared. I wanted to like a sense of normalcy to try to replicate my experience living in that apartment and just do all the same normal routines. So I just stayed out in Oak Square for a long time until it dawned on me I can go anywhere I want. And then I started venturing out from there. But I still love Oak Square. I don't know how many of y'all have been to Boston, but Boston is a great city. I've been to a lot of cities, and Boston is like the perfect balance of walkability, friendliness, options. Only problem with it is a lot of stuff shuts down way early. I think I've mentioned there used to be a coffee shop like open till 3 a.m. in Alston called Harold's. And with COVID, all the late night coffee shops disappeared, unfortunately. How am I doing with the pretzel habit, says Just Jamie. I have completely gone back on the wagon or fallen off the wagon, whatever it is. I'm eating a bag of pretzels every single night. I just can't help it. I tried the carrot thing, and I realized one thing I like about the bag of pretzels is because I can use one hand. With the carrots I need like two hands to hold the bag, hold the dip and stuff. And I just love the crunchy, salty, dry taste in my mouth. So I'm eating an entire bag of pretzels every night. I do like those little protein bags that Zaza got me into. Those things are great. Unfortunately, I can't find them everywhere. And I don't ever see them in the big bags. I wonder if she's here tonight. Evil Zipper. Yes, Evil Zipper. I'm going to make you a mod, Evil Zipper. Hold on a sec. All right. I have two mods in here helping me out. Evil Zipper got me into the protein pretzels, and those things are amazing. I realize I need more protein because I am lifting a lot of weights now in my gym routine, and I wasn't properly like adding more protein to my diet. So when I do my meal preps, I've like doubled the amount of protein. I used to have like 1 chicken breast per night. Now I'm throwing in 2 in there because when I'm at the gym, according to the monitors and all their machine gizmos and stuff, I'm burning like 2,200 calories every time I'm at the gym. I'll do 2 hours on the treadmill, and then I'll do like a half hour of like ab crunches and stuff like that, and then I'll do weights for a half hour. So yeah, protein pretzels are great. I just wish they made bigger bags. I wish I could find them. Thank you, Zaza, for introducing them to my life. I need to find them more. I think people have pointed out when I eat the bag of pretzels, I'll wake up at like 3 o'clock in the morning, thirsty as hell, and then I drink down a gallon of water. And I wake up in the morning just like bloated, and I'm simultaneously all dry and bloated, and my stomach is like, feel like I have a bowling ball in my stomach. So the pretzel habit is really bad. I need to do something about that. I'll try again. It's 8:21. Did I not have something? Oh yeah. All right. So I have been blabbing. I want to tell you about some videos you're going to see from me coming down the road because like I said, I have a bunch of stuff coming in from Amazon next week. First and foremost, I have a replacement skylight. This leak in my skylight is the worst thing. It's actually leaking right now because it's raining. And yeah, I want to fix it. Unfortunately, I do have to buy a new skylight for it. What happened was they don't make those things right. They're just like not manufactured well. It's a big piece of plastic, and when you torque, it has little holes in it. When you torque the screws in it, if it's like slightly torqued too much, it just develops these little spider web cracks that grow and just never stop growing. And in the corners, a couple of them grew so much that a corner chipped off. I tried sealing it with silicone, and it's just a disaster. So I have a new skylight coming. I'm going to replace that. That'll take, I don't know how long that will take. I got to get up there and take crap off the roof, but I do want to get that fixed. Another thing I have coming in is a new pump. Let me tell you something about pumps in a van. Like, first of all, having a sink and running water is awesome. I love having the shower. I love having a sink. In the winter, when I turn the water off, I miss it so much. So you definitely want a pump and a pressurized water system. I recommend it. It's a lot of work setting up, but once you have it set up, it's the bee's knees. It's like life-changing. Thing is, I got this 55 PSI pump only because I saw a YouTuber make a video about it, and that's what he got, and I had nothing to compare it to. 55 PSI is way too much pressure for a pump where you only have 2 spigots, a faucet and a shower, and there's maybe like 20 feet of hose line. So I have a new one coming in. It's also 12 volt, but it's like half the pressure, like 30 PSI. So hopefully it won't explode when it comes out. And it's also supposed to be quiet because the pump, you could hear those things. I tried like making a little Noico case around it and sealing it, and I hate the thing. It just like, it makes this shattering noise. So hopefully the new one I have coming in is way more quiet. Very excited about those. I have a new tripod coming. I've been using this Franken tripod. Where do I have it? Let me show you guys what I made here. I think it's right here. All right, so I lose tripods on the trail all the time. I did that with photography too. Like, how do you lose a 6-foot tall tripod? Yeah, I found a way to do it. I have this Franken tripod. It's made out of the remnants of a selfie stick. This is a giant binder clip that went with something else, and I have a chintzy little joint connection in here. It's done the trick for like 3 or 4 months, but I'm getting sick of not having a proper tripod, so I have a new one coming in. Yeah, I'll put that over there for now. I have some other stuff coming in. I I don't remember. I put in a huge Amazon order. I took a break from Amazon because it can be addictive buying stuff on Amazon. You know what I mean? Like when I started building out the van, I didn't use Amazon forever. And then when I started pulling stuff, it's like funny. It's like Christmas every single week. Packages just come in. Yeah, my agenda just fell. That's bound to happen. What are people saying? Hey, Matt from Dutchess County, New York. Robbing Cat 782. I love Dutchess County. That's where Kingston is, I think, right? Kingston is where I went last October. Stayed at the Walmart there a couple of nights, had a great time. Maybe I fell under the wagon. You know, that would be a more sensible saying than getting off or on a wagon as it relates to being sober with something, you know? Like, what does a wagon have anything to do? Falling under a wagon, you actually get hurt. Rice cakes for women comment is gone. Yeah, I missed that comment. I feel like I'm missing a lot. Have I been blabbing a lot already? It's already 8:26. Sorry, folks. What are people saying? Danny QC14X. Hi, Matt. I was installing a heated floor. A good idea. Would you do it again? Or would you just use a diesel heater? Great question. I was planning on doing a whole video about this. No, I would not do a heated floor again. The hydronic. Totally not. You know why? Because if you do a hydronic heated floor, the layer you put on top of it, that's going to get warm. It's never going to get hot. It's never going to get hot because those hydronic lines have a temperature limit. I don't know what it is, like maybe 160, 170, 180. It can never get warmer than that. So the floorboard on top of it, it'll get warm, but it won't get hot. And then you can't put a rug on top of it. And I tell you, folks, you want to put like a vinyl rug down or something because it gets so dirty in here and slippery. And once you put the vinyl rug on it, none of the heat comes through. None of it. So the amount of times even if I did not use a rug and you just want to raw dog it with a basic floor, you know, not put anything on it, how much time do you actually spend standing on the floor? You know, you feel it in your feet a couple of times. The hydronic loops, I also put a loop next to my bed right here. It's probably not in the camera. Yeah, behind this panel, there is a hydronic loop. This has actually worked better than the floor because when I lean up against it, I can feel the warmth, which is kind of cool. The problem with that is you can't fall asleep leaning against a wall. Have you ever tried that? It doesn't work. It's something you have to like prop your body up. So once I go back to sleep, I just go back right in the bed and I don't feel any of that heat. I would not do a hydronic heating system again. It's a fancy thing. It's a pain in the ass to install. A pain in the ass. I did it all myself. It took forever. And, you know, like in a house or something, I can understand a yacht maybe, but it just did not work for me. What I would do instead is have 2 diesel heaters. I would get the Eberspacher again. Let me tell you about Eberspacher's quality. They're also called S-bar heaters. I've had that S-bar heater down under there for 4 winters. I've not serviced it once. I've not replaced the glow plug. I have not cleaned out the soda. I've done zilch. And that thing just keeps running. It fires up every night. Sometimes it reboots a couple times. It is built like a tank. I would get the Eberspacher, and then I would get a second diesel heater, which I would have as a backup. I would cut only one hole through the floor, have both lines coming through, along with the wires and stuff. So I always have a backup ready to go on the super cold nights. So that was a great question. I already forgot who said it. Put the chat back up to fast speed if you want. I don't know how to do that. I think it's only something you set up once. Yeah, I put it on slow speed, which means you can only type like a comment once, like twice a minute, unfortunately. Sorry, maybe I shouldn't have done that. I'm still learning how to do the whole live stream stuff, folks. This is only my 3rd time, so I'm doing the best I can. Heat and airflow. Yes, absolutely. Heat and airflow. You need the airflow. You need the You need air circulating in here. For example, when I'm cooking, I always make sure the window way back in my shower stall is open to crack and that roof fan is open to crack. You can't just open that. Like nothing will come out. So all the nice fresh air comes all the way through my van. You want air to circulate through your entire house, you know. You want the intake as far away from the outtake as you want. Circulation is everything. People have also commented that I can deal with less moisture on my windows if I have circulation. That would mean leaving something open to crack somewhere and letting all the cold air in. That's why I do not do that. Meow Kitty 61 $10 super chat. Thank you so much, Meow Kitty. Meow Kitty. I love your name, by the way. Hey, Matt from Northern Vermont. We had a nice blizzard today. You had one today, really, in Northern Vermont? I need spring soon. Let's hope your live stream kicks off. Thank you. Yeah, I need spring soon as well. My sister lives up in Burlington. Are you in the Burlington area? They got snow today. Did they really get a blizzard, or was it just like a couple of flakes? I am so done with snow, folks. I never want to see snow again. I don't mind if it rains every day for the next 3 months. I just don't want to see a single flake of white falling out of the sky. I don't know about y'all. I am done. Retjex FXR, YouTube takes 30% of donations. Is it 30% now? Yeah. Unfortunately, there's no way to get me money. No matter what the platform, no matter what it is, like they all take 30%. So unfortunately, you can cash at me money directly if you want. That's the only way to get me something. But I do appreciate the super chats, folks, for real. Unknown Soldier, say hi to my wife. Hi, Teresa, wherever you are. Where are you guys? Get used van next time. What is that? LF egg. Get used van next time. So here was my experience with buying a new van. I bought my van brand spanking new because I did not want to deal with mechanical problems. I thought that would give me a reprieve for like a year of headaches. That was not the case. The moment I drove it away, the brakes started squealing. I brought it in like 2 days later. Then my windshield wiper motor kept failing and my windshield wipers kept breaking like during the rainstorm, and then like other things happen. Yeah, buying a vehicle new doesn't necessarily mean you're not going to have like mechanical problems. You know what I mean? New vehicles have mechanical problems and recalls all the time. Warranty did cover a lot of that stuff for the first couple of years, so that's the nice thing about buying new. If I could do it again, what I would do is buy a vehicle that's 3 years old, you know, fresh out of the warranties, about 30,000 miles. I think 30,000 miles is a sweet spot because that's the point at which all the kooky, glitchy stuff out of the factory has been fixed by the user, but way before all the hardcore transmission breakdown stuff starts kicking in and causing more problems. So if I could do it again, yeah, I think I would probably buy new around 30,000 miles. I would save a ton of money, that's for sure. Building out a vehicle is a very expensive thing. It's a shame how vehicles are such trash. Yeah, this was my first vehicle I ever bought new, and I was super disappointed with like all the problems I had. Not just all the problems, but the way Ford like didn't fix some things. Like they didn't do their due diligence in finding the root problem. Sometimes they would fix like a symptom and then that thing would re-break and I'd keep having to go in. It's hard to find good mechanics. Fords and Chevys have a lot of issues. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. This is the only car I've ever had, so I can't speak to what other problems like the Sprinters, the ProMasters, the other vans have had. I have no experience with that. I do know with Ford, there is always a service center very close by. I've had this breakdown on a road trip in Missouri, and I got it to a Ford a few miles away. Lost my spare key in Holyoke, and there is one a couple miles away, and they took me that same day. So the thing about Ford, there's a lot of like aftermarket support and stuff if that's important to you. Hilltown Property Care. What are my next adventures going to be? I should put that agenda back up because I'm losing place. Hold on a sec. My next adventures I will go over after I do something first. I wanted to cook a little something in the background. Not doing chestnuts because they're a lot of work. You got to score those things with X-Acto knives. I have something here called chaga tea. Chaga is a mushroom. You find it like on trees and stuff. Looks like where there's been a lightning strike on the tree, this black sort of fungus. My friend found some in the woods. He gave me some. I'm going to make a tea. Yeah, right here. I will be using a little French press here. I just got to boil up some water. I love doing this because it gives me an excuse. Hold on a sec. Let me just get this going. Just enough for 1 cup. I am not going to go nuts here. But this is my little camping stove here. This is what I cooked with before I got the double burner grill thing. I love this thing. You just buy these little canned heat things, if I can open it, and you put it underneath, light it up. I will do that first. And you can boil water, you can cook food, you can do everything with those things, and it folds up. I love origami things that fold. That folds up like a piece of paper. That was my main cooking unit. So I'm going to boil that up, and then I will use the French press, and we'll make ourselves some chaga tea tonight. That is going to be my cooking. I'm probably going to blab and try to follow the comments, so y'all are going to have to remind me in like 15 minutes or so that I have something cooking back there. I'm going to forget. Hold on a sec. Nern 807 pine needles for vitamin C. I don't know if you're joking or not. I do eat pine needles. I love pine needles. When the pine tree starts growing like new branches and stuff, the little branches are all green before the hard wood is set in. You can just eat that whole thing. It's like very soft. It's so delicious. Head to Japan. I would love to go to Japan. I would love to go like to Central Europe, Budapest, Prague, Vienna. That's my number one international destination. I don't know if I talked about this before, but moving into the van has taken something away from my life that I used to love, which is traveling internationally. I'm afraid to leave this van anywhere. I am having a hard time finding a place to store it long term for like several weeks while I travel. But I also just miss the thing so much. I went to New York for like a little over a week and I miss my van so much. So I think the international travel thing might have to come after this whole van life thing plays out. If it ever does, I don't know. Maybe I'll find another solution. I would love to go to Japan though. That was a great comment. Raul Vic at Vicva. I live out of a 2017 Sienna, and it's more than enough for me. Siennas are awesome. I have car camped in those things. They're like luxury for car camping, honestly. There's so much space in those things. Yeah, Toyota Siennas are great. If I ever got a house, and didn't have to carry all of my belongings with me all the time, I would definitely get a smaller vehicle. Toyota Sienna is right up there because you get the low clearance. You can park in garages and stuff. Parking garages, meaning I could park in like downtown Boston. It just blows the door wide open on places you can park. A lot of people say, why do I take the T down to downtown Boston, not drive? There's nowhere to park a big vehicle like this in downtown Boston. There just isn't. There's like almost no surface lots, which is what I would need, and they cost like $80 a day, something ridiculous. Plus, I love taking the T. It's kind of fun sitting there. Nashville in the house. Nashville is awesome. That's actually like probably my top 2 or 3 favorite cities in the United States, Nashville. I went there during that eclipse in 2017, spent some time there. Awesome, awesome city. Very lively. I was very much into like nightclubs and stuff last time I was there, which is 10 years ago. I don't know. I'm sure there's other stuff there. Very lively downtown Nashville. Pine needle tea has vitamin C. Yeah, do they make pine needle tea? So I got something from that Saratoga spa. Hold on a sec. I got this. I don't know if it will focus. This is a pine extract that I got from Saratoga Spa. I asked them, what do you do with it? Like, do you rub it on your chest or something? They said, no, you eat it. So I was gonna like use it in a sauce, pour the whole thing in, but I read some people saying that you only use like 1 or 2 drops of it. So I guess it's not really about flavor with these things. It's more about the therapeutic aspects. So I have not put this in any sauce yet. Y'all, just so you know, I have not poisoned myself. It's like actually mostly alcohol. So I don't even know if it tastes like pine. But I will try some of this stuff. Maybe I'll try right now. Why not? We're talking about it. But one day you have a parking garage connected. It's not huge. I don't know who you're talking to, but I would love to have, if I do ever buy a house, I need a huge garage, you know? Like something with way more overhead clearance than I see in like all the houses around here. What's my Cash App tag? All right, my Cash App tag, if you're honest, it's at Matt McPherson Photo. Maybe I'll type that. I have not used Cash App in a long time, but I used to use it for like invoicing for my photography business and stuff. If you really want to Cash App me, that's awesome. But Central Testing 426, thank you very much for the super chat. I appreciate it. Just a drop or two under your tongue of this stuff. All right, well, let's do that. Yeah, it comes with a dropper. So I've learned that anything that comes with a dropper, you're not supposed to like eat in bulk. Okay, it does have a piney taste. This is actually pretty good. I might use this in a sauce, even though I'm not supposed to. I'm liking it a lot. It has a great flavor. I love the taste of pine. Totally, you'd be hanging out in the garage all the time. Oh, absolutely. I am thinking about buying my next van all the time lately. After Van City Vanlife just rebuilt a whole new van, it just like gave me the what do you call it? Jitters? Not jitters. I don't know why envy. I had so much fun building out the van. I actually started my YouTube before I got the van, and my plan was to do like a YouTube video every week. But once I got the van, I got so into building it out, I found it impossible to do anything on YouTube and focus on building because I was having so much fun building. I was just in here from like sun up to sundown. And that's why in my early YouTube years, if you look at my history, I was doing like one video every 4 months. It was like really slow. It's because I was building out my van and having a blast doing it. I did not even really take YouTube seriously until 2024, after the van was all fully built and after my dad died and I could like focus on other things in my life. So building out a van is awesome. I like the layout I have. I don't know if you all have seen my van tour video. I have my bed going lengthwise. It's like the opposite of most of the van builds you see on YouTube where they have it in the back, which I really like. I just love having my body oriented this way. And I don't like having to like climb up into a bed. That's always been a thing with me. I like beds that you can sit down onto. Like the lower the better, which is what I have right now. I would do a few things differently though. The whole bathroom, I would like enclose it better. Trying to find the words here. And some other stuff. The 2 diesel heater thing I think I mentioned. Flex Seal or Lexel clear sealant on the skylight. I got both Dicor lap sealant coming and I got butyl tape coming. When I put the skylight in, it was the last project I did in a host of projects. I actually delayed my trip down to, I forget where I went, Virginia, Florida, whatever that road trip was. I delayed it by a couple of days because I was installing that skylight. And I had like half a container of silicone gel sealer that I just wanted to use up. So I half-assed that whole thing and it came back to bite me. When I got the new skylight in, do they make like rubber washers or something to absorb some of the torque when you bolt it in? I don't really know. I need to study all of that. In pesto, it might be good. What, the pine stuff? We both need a giant garage with a bathroom and a place for a cot. Yeah, absolutely. You know, the funny thing is, if I do ever get a house, like I would still be sleeping in the van in the garage. The only reason I want the house is so I can have an address and not have to deal with all the bullshit with insurance and taxes and mail and stuff that comes with having like all these wacky addresses and trying to piece that together. I love sleeping in my cocoon. I love sleeping in the van. I would have a nice big house and just sleep in the van all day, every day. Until some outside force changes my life, that might happen too. My life just tends to like completely change every 7 years. I get something new. And I've been going on the van life thing for about 4 years now. Come September 20th of this year, I will have lived full time in my van for 4 years. Lived part time in it for a year and 2 months before that. As I was building it out, living in my dad's driveway part time. But yeah, I'm coming up on 4 years. Watching from Fort Lauderdale, awesome. You know, I've done what, 4 cross country road trips in this now, and Florida was actually the favorite place I've been. I'll tell you. Like, I just had a blast with that whole road trip. I don't know what it was, you know, it just the gators. I like the gators a lot. There's a lot of like fun things to do in Florida. Even though I'm someone who loves mountains and waterfalls and stuff, I just had so much fun on that road trip. I would love to go to Florida again. Maybe next year. I get less I get less vacation time at my new job as I got at the one before. Like a whole week less per year, unfortunately, which kind of sucks. So I don't know. Hopefully the YouTube thing takes off and I can do this full time, but that is a pipe dream at this point. Oh, it's 8:47. What am I doing? Oh yeah, so my van road trip dates, perfect way to segue into this since I'm talking about this. My trip is going to be from January 12th to January 28th, or I think something like that, like a 2.5 week window. It's the earliest I have ever taken a summer road trip. For a while, I was taking my road trips at the end of summer, like September into October. I liked it because it gave me time to like plan it, and a lot of the tourist destinations were like less populated. And then I think last year I moved it earlier to early July. This year I did it earlier because, man, I need something to look forward to in the winter so much, you know. I was actually contemplated doing my big cross country road trip in May, but then I realized that's probably too early. A lot of stuff might still be a little too cold, especially around the Great Lakes. So I think the second half of June, mid June, is just about right. What I planned on doing was, I think June, I don't have my calendar up. Whatever that Friday is, I think it's June 12th or 13th. I'm going to traverse the Erie Canal up to the Thousand Island, up to Buffalo, and then go up to the Thousand Islands region of New York City. I'm going to be touring at least one castle that's on an island there. The Thousand Islands is like, I don't know if it's the Great Lakes or the St. Lawrence River itself. There's a whole bunch of islands there that in the late 1800s, all these, you know, Carnegie and all those Gilded Age people, robber barons built castles on there. I want to spend like 3 or 4 days exploring that. Then I'm going to go counterclockwise south through Ohio, come up into Michigan. I've got some locations that some of you folks gave me on one of my last chats of places to hit and stuff. And then I might spend the whole time in Michigan, just like do the whole coast of it. I did go up to the Upper Peninsula a couple road trips there and spent a good amount of time. So I feel like I've seen that. Michigan and Alaska are like the 2 most underexplored states for me. I spent 2 hours in Michigan. So it's going to be New York, Ohio, and the whole coastline of Michigan. Maybe on the way back, I'll come through, I don't know, another state, West Virginia or something. I'm not going to be going far for this road trip, but I want to see the Great Lakes. My van is approaching 90,000 miles. It's probably going to pass that like within a month, believe it or not. I put a lot of miles on this thing in 4 years. Oh, yeah, my water. Is it boiling? It is boiling a little bit, those little bubbles. I'll let it go for 5 more minutes. Thank you all for pointing that out. I need that. Howe Caverns, New York. Howe Caverns is cool. I've been there a couple of times. Yeah, Howe Caverns is the scariest cave I've ever been to. It's in upstate New York, like on the Mohawk River. I remember at the end of it, it's like there's like a waterfall or something. It's just total void of darkness, and you can hear rushing water in the background. I first went there when I was a little kid, and it gave me nightmares for the rest of my life. But Howe Caverns is cool. Check your stove. I will in. Let me see how warm it is. I'll just dip my finger in there. Okay, that is actually very hot, so I think that's good enough. This is a French press. You just kind of pour it in and let the flavor seep for a while. There we go. My chaga tea. I should have put this thing. There we go. Some smoke in here. Let's let the smoke out a little bit there. All right. And I will let the flavor seep on this for a little bit. There we go. Yeah, nice to be eating something healthy. Drinking, eating, it's all the same to me. That Secret Caverns, not Howe Caverns with a waterfall. Is it? Is Secret Caverns in upstate New York? Maybe I'm getting them confused. Secret Caverns is the one in Virginia, right? I think I've been to that one too. Yeah, maybe I'm getting them confused. All those caves are kind of scary. Like, where it's not illuminated, it's just like so dark down there. What kind of microphone is it? It's called like the Hyper Quadcast Quad Hyper X something. I forget. It's very cool. They sell it at Walmart. That's where I got it from. If I unmute it like this, because I muted myself for like 2 minutes one time. Bugs in Michigan in summer are brutal. Really? Are they that bad? I wouldn't think of Michigan as like a buggy state. I know when I went to Alberta, where's my Alberta person? I went to a waterfall there, I think called Helmken, and that was the worst mosquito experience I've ever had in my entire life. Like British Columbia and Alberta. Michigan, I wouldn't think has a big bug problem, but I don't know. I'm gonna have to wear some bug screen, I guess. Hyper Quadcast X, says Raul. Yeah, that sounds about right. I think that's what it is. Come to Long Island. Believe it or not, I've never really been out in Long Island. I've been to like Queens. I've never like ventured more out to Long Island than that. I've also never been to Nantucket or Martha's Vineyard or any of those Massachusetts islands. Do you just like hop on a ferry to get there? Can I bring the van there? Maybe I should do that this summer. As someone who's lived in Massachusetts his whole life, it's kind of a shame that I have not been there. Long Island. Yeah, I can make a day trip out of that, I think, or a couple of days. I will do that. Niagara, New York. Yeah, so Niagara Falls. There is something I want to see on this road trip called Eternal Flame Falls. Are you aware of that, Nern 8087? There is a waterfall out there by the Buffalo area that has like a natural gas seeping out behind the waterfall, just like seeping out from decomposing carboniferous matter. And it catches on fire like in a lightning strike, and it just burns forever. It's this waterfall with a flame behind it called Eternal Flame Falls. You can look it up. I tell you, New York State has so many cool geological quirks and stuff. It's like the Oregon of the East Coast. It's just a great state. I do want to see Eternal Flame Falls. I would love to see Niagara Falls again. I only went there once from the American side. I don't feel like bringing my van. That's another thing. I don't really want to cross the border again with this van. I've done it twice already. once I cut through Ontario when I was coming back from the Upper Peninsula on a road trip. The Canadian guys are great when you cross into Canada. They're like, "Oh yeah, where are you coming? Oh cool, have a nice time." I was through the border crossing like that. When I come back to the United States, the Americans always want to search my van. They think there's a person in here. I also brought this into Mexico one time on my second road trip. Same thing, the Mexicans were great, but the Americans made me open the door. I swear he was going to ask me to like cut open my water tank, which is a 30-gallon water tank underneath my mattress. He made me lift up my mattress. He's like, "You sure you don't have people in there?" Yeah, I'm sure I don't have people in there. They weren't even looking for drugs. They were looking for people in my van. I don't like having my van searched like that. So I might not like, it's kind of sad, but I might not ever bring this into Canada again. I don't know. I have to be convinced. Maybe some of the border guards watch my YouTube and might give me an easier time and not go through all my drawers and crap. I hate that crap. You know what I mean? I think what I should do is go to Niagara Falls. I got on this train of thought because I want to see Niagara Falls from the Canada side. I heard that side is way more scenic. Maybe I can just like park on the American side and walk across the bridge. Do people do that? Just walk across the bridge, take some pictures, and then come back. Maybe I'll do that. What happened last time I went into Canada? Yeah, so like I said, I was just crossing through that peninsula of Canada between Michigan and New York State. And you're in there for like 2 hours. Either drive through that or drive through Ohio, which is like equally bad. And the Americans, it was so late at night. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning. I was so tired and cranky, and that probably did not come across well with a border guard. Made me open my drawers, lift up my mattress. I don't want to go through that. Yeah. Any of you all like do car camping or have a van you camp in the chat? Do you bring it across the border, international borders? Have you had similar experiences? Were they just picking on me because I'm like a single male traveling alone? I don't know. The Lost Sea in Sweetwater, Tennessee, largest underground lake in Northern Hemisphere. That sounds really cool. I wish I had my phone. I could screenshot that. That's something I want to see. The Lost Sea in Sweetwater. Yeah, lots of cool caves down there. Mammoth Cave is also in Kentucky, right? I want to go back. I got caveitis all of a sudden. I want to go back and see some caves. Are there caves in Michigan? Anything like that I can do? I don't think I've done any caves ever since I got into the whole van life thing. Go to Emerald Lake, Vermont. I love Emerald Lake. I've stayed at Emerald Lake. In this van, I stayed there one time. I don't think I was really YouTubing back then. It was in like the first year. That is an awesome, awesome campground. They have a little lake there with a little paddle boat. You can just jump in. You don't need a reserve or anything. Go around the lake. I might do that. I remember that one books up really fast. I might have already missed the ball on that. Emerald Lake, Vermont is awesome. Hi from Eastern Connecticut, Pauline Garharman 8225. Sorry if I'm murdering your name. Yeah, Connecticut. I do not explore Eastern Connecticut enough. I want to. Isn't Mark Twain's house there, or is that in Hartford? Mammoth Cave is awesome. I've never been in Mammoth Cave. Is it really that huge? Is it like a giant amphitheater down there? I would love to do that. Sackett's Harbor, New York, Clayton, New York, and Cape Vincent, New York are upstate, all lovely towns with a lot of history. Thank you, Van Camper 205. Where are they? Are they in the Thousand Islands region? Sackett's Harbor, Clayton, and Cape Vincent. They sound like they're on one of the Great Lakes. I would love to do that. David, I live in Mass, but my parents live in Tennessee, so I definitely recommend the Lost Sea. Awesome. Yeah, I will do that. You've got me. Just the name alone sounds curious. I like things that are lost. I like things that are underground. And I do like Tennessee a lot. Pigeon Forge is great. I told the Dolly Parton story, right? Where I got to have dinner with Dolly Parton through Facebook. I think I did last time. How long does the tea need to steep? It is probably steeped plenty right now. Yeah, the water is nice and black, so I think that's good. This again is chaga tea. Chaga is, I don't know if it's a mushroom or something in the mushroom family. I don't know what it is, but it has a ton of health benefits like antioxidants and stuff. I think I do actually eat healthy, drink healthy, aside from the caffeine and stuff, and occasionally poisoning myself with indigestible things. Here we go, folks. Chaga tea. Here's to the end of winter, to things growing again. Grass. I saw like a skunk cabbage coming out of the snow the other day, or something like that. Very good. Very earthy flavor. I did not put honey or sugar or anything in there. I am just drinking it raw, and you know what? I love it. Chaga tea. Thank you very much, Terry and Morgan, my hosts who gave me this stuff and let me borrow the French press tonight. Excellent idea. Chaga is a tree fungus, says the unspeakable. Yes, it is. It looks like a lightning strike. Chaga is where the part of the tree is like all black and stuff. That is a lovely place. Beautiful homes too. Yeah, I love Canada. My mother lives in Canada. Canada's great. I've been to Canada a lot. I just wish I didn't have to go through a border to get there. You know what I mean? That changes everything. Tell the story about Dolly Parton. So some of y'all have not heard the Dolly Parton story. So in the early days of Facebook, I was really into Dolly Parton. We're talking like 2007 or something. And I saw one day she started a Facebook page. So I would like write messages and post on Dolly's wall. I'm sure her page is run by like a media manager or something like that. I'm sure. I'm not that naive. But one time, like after a couple years of doing a lot of back and forth with whoever their media manager is, I said, I'm going to Dollywood in September. Would love to meet Dolly. And whoever runs their page wrote me back, actually emailed me, said, yeah, you can come meet Dolly. She's doing this charity dinner for the American Eagle Foundation or something like that at Dollywood. Give me your address. We'll mail you some tickets. So a couple weeks later, I got 2 VIP tickets. I didn't have a guest, but I went to Dollywood, went to this dinner, tried to dress nice. They said no pictures and stuff. This was well before YouTube. And Dolly comes around. She comes to my table. She takes one look at me. She says, you must be Matt. Dolly is like 4 feet tall. She's wicked small. And she somehow knew who I was. It was so awesome. I just like exchanged a couple comments with her. I didn't like sit with her and talk forever. We exchanged like 3 or 4 sentences. But she is awesome. That's my Dolly Parton story. She also has a tattoo, like this roaring like tattoo on her. She covers it up. I feel like she has an edge to it that we don't all see, you know? That's my Dolly Parton story. That was, I forget when that was, a long time ago, like 15 years ago. Yeah, Dollywood is in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. Tennessee is a great state. One of my favorite states. Probably one of my top 2 or 3. It grows on birch, chaga. Yeah, I think it only grows on birch, right? Like it has some sort of symbiosis with that tree. Mm. Good stuff. So I do want to do one toast tonight because this is a reason to celebrate. How many of y'all are like in vans or in cars right now? I saw a couple people comment. Did y'all have to survive cold winter nights in your vehicle like I did? Because man, I'm so glad I lived through it. And I want to celebrate. I got this. It is like a peanut butter pecan thing. This is the only booze I will be drinking tonight. Nice and flavorful. So I just want to make a toast to all the people who have helped me in my van life. You know, this is a very hard thing to do solo. I did it solo for a couple years and I got myself into a lot of trouble. So thank you, Terry, Morgan, the guys who gave me the chaga. They've helped me out a ton. Karen, Frank, Tom, the ladies at the Dunkin' Donuts in Oak Square, a lot of the coffee shop people who have let me hang out, a lot of other people whose names I'm forgetting right now. I want to thank all of you for helping me out. Thank all of you, my commenters, because the whole YouTube thing is taking on a life of its own. You give me a reason to tell my story and show what living in a vehicle is like. And you give me a reason to keep making videos. So thank you to y'all. Good stuff. Butter, pecan, peanut butter, something. I don't know. Very good stuff. Winter is over. Thank God. It's a little polluted today because we got like almost 11 hours of winter, but tomorrow is the first full day of winter. I'm sorry, tomorrow is the first full day of spring. And like I said, this is the biggest holiday of the year for me, honestly. I'm not especially religious. I don't do anything on the other holidays, but the equinox, the spring equinox, and the summer solstice are huge. So cheers. Cheers, everyone. Cheers, Nora K. Allen. Cheers, Captain Trips. Cheers, Heist444. Cheers, Nicole Greenlee 7690. I'm trying to get your all name. Cheers, Polar Red. Frank Reynolds. Cheers, Evil Zipper. Especially to you, Evil Zipper. Thank you for giving me a lot of good influences, the weight training. Van Theft Auto, thank you so much for the super chat. Seriously, $20. Thank you so much. Keep up the great work. Thank you. Yeah, that thing is just going to keep falling in the background. Thank you. Thank you for saying that, because I have no idea, like, if my YouTube is good or not, to be honest with you. I had no experience with, like, making films or film production or anything. Honestly, I didn't know what I was doing when I started YouTube. I've learned that you just kind of, like, talk, you just kind of tell what you're doing as you're doing it, why you're doing it. It takes a long time to become comfortable just talking to the camera. It's an inorganic thing, I will say, like that. Like, one reason you don't see other people in my videos much is because once you put a camera there and turn it on and you tell the other person we're live, it's impossible to have a normal conversation after that. Trust me, it just doesn't work like that. So my YouTube, I don't know. I like photography. I like all the weird camera angles. I like to have fun, and I just talk. And thank you for telling me you like it, because I need to hear that. I like to know that this is actually what I'm doing is good work. It's nice to get that feedback. Jesse before 9 Inch Nails. I love 9 Inch Nails. My favorite band. Just saw them twice on their latest tour. Not wearing a 9 Inch Nails hoodie. I changed my hoodie for you all because I wore that 9 Inch Nails hoodie for the last 2 weeks. And I realized as I was prepping for this live stream, if I wear that in one more video, everyone is going to comment. Like, change your clothes, Matt. Oh my God. This is an RPM Fest hoodie. RPM Fest is a heavy metal festival in Montague, Massachusetts, held every September. And I got this at the last one. I wore this like once and then forgot I had it. But I feel like I should promote other local businesses, DIY stuff, music festivals and stuff. So I will get used to this purple logo, folks. You're going to be seeing it every day for the next 2 weeks. Matt, all your plans have fallen down again. Yeah, let me fix that. Okay, this time I taped it to the wood and not the blackout blinds, so that should last a little bit longer. Yeah. I feel like that thing fell down every single time I've done this. That's a very janky setup, guys. I just whipped something together. I like having that there because I like structured time, and it helps me keep track of time. I don't have a clock. Actually, I do have a clock in here, but Yeah, it might fall again. Matt, don't move to LA. Way too dangerous in a van. Yeah, I think part of my illustriousness, I don't know what word I'm going for, folks. Part of the reason I want to move to LA is that the first Muppet movie. Do you remember the premise of the first Muppet movie? Kermit the Frog, is like sitting on a banjo and he meets Fozzie and they decide to go to Hollywood, become big in the entertainment industry. With the YouTube thing, I have found over the past 2-3 years, I like doing the spreadsheets and the accounting less and less and less, and do the creative stuff, the filmmaking, the storytelling more and more and more. I've become way less of a book science person and way more of an artist person. And I want to be surrounded by that creative energy. LA is all like part of the reason you do so well in your career. It's the people you surround yourself with. You know what I mean? I want to be surrounded with that energy. It's also warmer in LA, and they have good hikes you can do just outside the city. Thing is, I want to keep living in my van if I were to move anywhere. I love this lifestyle. It doesn't make any sense to finally get a break because of my van life and then move to LA and then give up the van life. You know what I mean? And everything I've heard about living in a van in LA is negative. It's very hard. So I don't know. Something has to happen. I'm not the Sorry. Excuse me. It's this stuff. Something has to. I'm the kind of person who does not do stuff impulsively, make big moves, career moving. I like to plant the seeds and let the right opportunity arise. But man, I do want to get out of here before the next winter because winters up here drive me crazy. So, what is another place like LA that is warmer than the Northeast, has good hikes just outside the city, and has van life potential? Maybe some of you guys are in places. San Diego. I've got a few people saying San Diego. I've never been to San Diego. Can you get away with van life in San Diego? Is there a good rotation of spots? They don't put up signs everywhere saying no parking in a van between so and so hours, stuff like that, like they're doing in LA. I'm not feeling tipsy yet, says Pissa3186. All right, let me finish this thing. Hold on a sec. Very good stuff. That will kick in a bit. Savannah, Georgia. I went to Savannah, Georgia 10 years ago. I remember they have a cool park with really cool trees in the middle of it. And George L. Smith State Park, isn't that near Savannah? Savannah's very cool. I feel like it's kind of a small city though. The novelty of it might wear off a little bit. I do like big cities. I like hovering on the outskirts of big cities where within an hour I can get to a big urban core, or I can get to the mountains and stuff. Boston is like that. New York is like that. LA is like that. I don't know. Seattle, maybe. Yeah. Cheers. Thank you very much. Yeah. Cheers. Definitely. Cheers. This is a cause for celebration tonight. I'm doing this, for me. I needed a mental health break because I've just been so exhausted by this past winter. I needed to celebrate with some people, and I feel like people who came to this chat, 356 people in my live stream right now. That's amazing. Wow. And it's a Friday night too. I can't believe you all are spending it with me and not spending the first Friday night of spring out on the town. It's not even a holiday or anything like Christmas or New Year's. You're spending with me. Thank you so much. That is awesome. I feel honored. I'm amazed that many people are here. That is crazy. 356 people spending it with me. California in general is more expensive than Boston. Yeah, the whole state is definitely more expensive. Gas costs twice as much as it does in Massachusetts. I only recently found that out. I don't know why that is. It's all about distribution networks or something. Who knows? the price of gas and oil is just like beyond me. I don't know how it works. I don't know how like the Strait of Hormuz can be shut down for 2 weeks and my gas has only gone up 10 cents in those 2 weeks. Lived in Phoenix. I've been to Phoenix. Phoenix is too hot for me. It does have the Superstition Mountains right outside the city, which are pretty. Phoenix would be great in the winter, but man, that is the hottest place I have ever been in my entire life. I told this story in a recent video, maybe it was the last one. I rented a car, I went to Phoenix, and it was like their hottest day in 30 years or something like that. Parked at a trailhead right in the sun, a trailhead for something called the Wave Cave. When I came back, the dashboard had a crater in it. It had melted. The vinyl of the rental car had melted. I didn't even know that could happen. I took it back to Enterprise, dropped it off. I'm like, here's your car. Sorry, not my problem anymore. But I don't want that to happen to my van. I don't want to be melting anything. So Phoenix is a little too hot for me. I do need to work. I am not retired. I am not living off a trust fund. I'm not a full-time YouTuber. I'm going to need some place where I can hover near a city where I can get a job. You know what I mean? Right now, I have the 1 day in the office hybrid thing going, and it works well enough. I can't venture too far from the Boston area because of that, but it works well enough that I would do that same thing in another city. We lived through your adventures. Well, thank you. Thank you. I try to like paint a rosy picture of the places I go and highlight stuff. I feel like I've been very negative for the past 3 months. That's only because I've been cold and it's winter. I'm sorry I've complained so much this winter. I've had more than a few people complain in my comments that I complain too much. Trust me, once it starts getting warmer outside, I'm going to be a very happy-go-lucky person. I will not complain anymore. Trust me. Once I throw Moby Dick on the water, I am just like in another planet. I use it. Thank you very much for the super chat. I use it. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Super chats are what are going to keep me here, folks, because these live streams, they're fun live. They have no rewatchability. So Atlanta has a film industry, but I don't know how Vanlife would be. Atlanta, that's a good one. I've been to Atlanta like on my road trips back in my car rental days. I explored the city one time. I remember they have like a big Ferris wheel. Is that still there? They have a beautiful aquarium, the coolest aquarium I've ever been in. I saw I saw an otter rape and kill another otter in the Atlanta aquarium. I think it's called the Georgia Aquarium. They have an otter exhibit in there, and this one otter like turned its head weird and started going ballistic, chased down another otter and started like, I swear it was raping it. And then it started ripping it to shreds. This smaller otter just ripped it to shreds. There's blood everywhere. Like people were screaming. Someone from the Georgia Aquarium had to come out and like close the exhibit down. That's my big experience, my big memory of Atlanta, the Georgia Aquarium otter rape and kill. Mr. Grinnell, Mass. Hey, Matt. Well, thank you. Is Grinnell, Mass. a town in Mass? I've never heard of Grinnell. Redwoods, Crescent City, California. Cool. I have not been to the Redwoods or Sequoia. I have not been to Yosemite, all those parks. I was going to do a big California road trip, hitting Yosemite, hitting Sequoia, hitting Redwoods, hitting like all those big parks in the summer of 2020, and then COVID happened. I think I got like my plane ticket refunded, but I had everything booked for that. So I still never been to Yosemite, never seen the huge trees there. I want to go there, but I've learned that to like do a road trip from coast to coast, you need at least 3 weeks. Like at least, even then you're going to be driving most of every day. With this new job I got last year, I don't get enough time off of work to do something like that. which is kind of sad. It means I can never get to the West Coast again in this van. Unless something happens, unless I move, let's get a new job. I'm starting to have the hiccups, folks. That's what one shot of alcohol does to me. That stuff was good, though. Maybe I'll have the chaga. Maybe that will alleviate that. Hello, right back in Gainesville, Florida. Oh, that's Evil Zipper. Gainesville's in Florida, right? I think I went through there. I loved Florida. Have I said that again? It's so flat. Yes, it's flat. Yes, it's like wet all the time. But man, I had such a good time every place I went there. It's just very unique. Very unique. I did the Everglades tour. The Everglades is just like, it's all swamp with trees growing out of the water for like as far as the eye can see. I did one of those boat tours with a big fan on the back. What are they called? I forgot what they're called. But we went through all the coves and stuff, the mangroves or whatever they call those things, to see all the gators and stuff. And there were like gators there. The gators are the coolest animal I've ever seen. I love those things. They're like my spirit animal. They just sit there. Our Everglades tour guide said that gators only need to eat like once a month. They eat like once a month and then they're set. So I asked the tour guide, what do they do for the rest of the month? They just kind of sit there and chill out. That's pretty much it. They just sit there and chill out. Imagine that's your life. You eat one day a month, and then the rest of the month you just sit there and chill out in beautiful weather. Like, don't even move. Gators are my spirit animal. I love Florida. I want to go back there again. I hope this van lasts. You know, I'm about to cross 90,000 miles, but I have maintained this very well. Like, for all the complaints I do about mechanics, almost everything in here is brand spanking new. The transmission, the fluids, the shocks, like everything except the engine. The only thing I'm worried about is the undercarriage, all the rust and stuff. Here in Mass, they go ballistic with salt on the roads. And water mixed with salt, it like speeds up the rust, speeds up the corrosion like 100-fold. It's terrible. So what I want to do this summer, maybe this spring, is get underneath there and do some sort of big rust proofing regimen. I may pay someone for that. I don't want to be crawling under there, breathing in fumes of dust and stuff. How did I get in this topic of conversation? I'm starting to feel a little tipsy, folks. That stuff is working. Stephen I7Z, thank you very much for the super chat. Thank you very much. Evil Zipper wishes I could eat once a month. Yeah, that would free up a ton of time. I'll say that. Time is my most precious commodity nowadays, folks. I swear to God. I love YouTube, but it takes a lot of time. Like every minute that you see in a YouTube video, there's probably like an hour of filming, editing, all of that stuff behind it. It's a ton of time. Some days I spend more than 8 hours on my YouTube, than I do on my day job. In case anyone from my day job is working, though, I do great at my day job, okay? It's my bread and butter. I love my job. I do good work, I think. I'm still a year into it, so I'm still learning the ropes, but I take it very seriously. That will always take precedent over the YouTube thing. Yeah, I'm starting to feel tipsy, folks. I don't know what people are... 3 gators in the ponds out back for you to visit. David Hotchkiss, 8922. You live in Florida, Dave? You got 3 gators like in your backyard? That would be awesome. You know, what I could do in Florida is you can get like a long-term campground residency for like years. There's another YouTuber called Life with Anthony, like the only van lifer that I follow on YouTube. He started off just like me, living in his car, I think in the Baltimore area. Eventually became successful on YouTube, went down to Florida, got himself a campground there. He can get his mail there. He has an address for his taxes. and there's gators like crawling around and they're so cute, and it's just like I'm considering something like that. I know Florida has a reputation for like crazy people living there, so I don't know. I'm gonna have to like deal with that, but yeah, I just don't want to deal with cold. I'm willing to like accept gators and flatness and bugs and heat into my life if it means never spending another winter in the Northeast. Sorry. Matt, your agenda. Yeah, this is spring 2026, folks. Did you know? Have you been paying attention to the calendar? I didn't find out until I was proofreading that thing. So, Florida, I actually did that 10,002 years ago. It feels like last year when I went there. That was like over 10,000 years ago. We need to find you a new job. Yeah, definitely. It's so complicated now because like moving across the country is, I think people understate how complicated doing something like that is. I would not move across the country without a job lined up first. And I would not accept a job offer without a place to live lined up first. Now, I'm very good at scoping out places to sleep. I bet even in LA, I can eventually find like stealth camping spots. I can get by. The problem is the address problem. You need to have an address to register your car at, to file your taxes under, and insure your car with. And people think you can get away with P.O. boxes. No, no. Even if you get a P.O. box with like a physical address where you don't have to write P.O. box in it, let me tell you something. The P.O. box has its own zip code that's different from the rest of zip codes. So the tax man knows that that's not a real residential address if you're using a P.O. box, and you can't file your taxes under it. Car insurers, I swear, are playing a cat and mouse game with those mail service things. I tried one of those first. I tried getting Geico insurance under a mail service address and had it for like 2 months, and they said this address is not valid. You need a real residential address. So the residential address problem is a big one. I found the only good solution for that is to have a trusted friend or family member to provide you with a residential address if you're going to do van life. That's the only like long-term solution that you don't have to like constantly worry about. Maybe other people have had different experiences. Why aren't you based out of New Hampshire for income tax reasons? Why would I? Why would I? Oh, well, I think that's, yeah, I mean, that's complicated, you know. I guess I could do that, save a little bit on state taxes, but changing your address and like all of your insurances and stuff, it has complications to it. When you change states, your insurance rates change for like your life and your health and stuff. You know that, right? So it's not like just you're automatically saving money by moving to a state with no income taxes. I would have to research that tremendously. And I don't think I would do that. It's just so much paperwork that comes with changing addresses. What time is it? 9:15. We blasted right through that. Lessons of winter. I think my top lessons of winter, first of all, if you're going to get a diesel heater, service that thing before winter starts. Take that seriously. Change the glow plug, clean out the soot, do all of that stuff, and do that like during the summer. You know, make sure you're prepared. 2, have a backup heat source. Always have like 2 sources of heat because you don't want to be cold in your van. A lot of people say get a sleeping bag. I have a thermal sleeping bag that's rated for like negative 30 degrees Fahrenheit. I used to camp with it. I have that. The thing is, like, once you're in that sleeping bag, you're not going to want to get out of it if the rest of your van is negative 10 degrees Fahrenheit. You're going to need to get out of it to operate your vehicle, to change, to pee in the night and stuff. So, yeah, the sleeping bag is great for survival. I wouldn't count on that as your primary heat mechanism. You want, like, heaters and stuff. I am missing a few super chats here, I think. Just Jamie. Thank you very much for the super chat, Just Jamie. Please say hi to Jeff for me. He's a huge fan. Hi, Jeff. What state is Jeff in? Did I miss any others? I feel like I'm scrolling. $20 from Central Testing 426. Thank you, man. Central Testing 426. My experience with U.S. border crossing is kind of hit or miss. 2 out of 10 was no big deal. They just asked a couple of questions. Yeah, I have crossed the border into Canada and back in rental cars all the time, and it was like in my 20s and 30s. I don't remember ever having like a real bad time. A couple times they pulled me over and like maybe opened the doors and stuff, but they didn't go through my drawers or anything like that. But ever since I got the van, I guess because it's a black van and I'm single, male, traveling alone, crossing the border at night, I guess that just checks off all sorts of flags. And the 2 times I've crossed the border, both times they had to search my van, and I just hated it, unfortunately. Yeah, that's another thing. If you're gonna get a van and you you kit it out with like windows and stuff that makes it look like someone's living in it, then prepare to get like treated differently by people like cops and, security and stuff. They know you're living in it, Civilians might not know, but they know, and they might scrutinize you a little bit more. Border guards do. Fleet Me 9074. Hey Matt, love your stuff. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's good to hear that, I try to like read all the comments. I don't always have time to read all the comments on my video. I try to. But if you comment on my video early, I always try to read those and respond to those. And I love getting good feedback. It just makes me feel like I'm doing something right, Gives me a reason to keep making videos. I'm the worst judge of my own work. I need to hear the outside voices. And if y'all are getting something from this and entertained by it, thank you. Thank you. I try. I make the kind of videos, since we're on the topic of like YouTube and video production and van life YouTubers and stuff. Like, I know for me, I don't watch any van life YouTubers anymore, except for like occasionally Chrome and Life with Anthony. You know why? Because they post so often that you see like nuts and bolts of living in a vehicle. You know what I mean? I found like 90% of the van life YouTubers out there, they're putting out like 1 or 2 videos a month. And I feel like you're not really seeing the life part of van life. It's more like watching someone on vacation. If you're going to move into a vehicle and seriously do what I'm doing, get rid of all your stuff, figure out your address, man, watch whatever YouTubers you can actually doing that and showing it, because it's a lot to learn. It's scary. I made a video one time called So You're Considering Van Life. Find that. That was a very raw video for me. It recounted my first 2 years experience living in the van. Finding sleep spots is one thing. That's not the only thing. It's like realizing that you're truly homeless and getting behind the wheel and you have nowhere to go. Like, you can be anywhere, but no one is expecting to see you anywhere. Truly not having a home that you can retreat to. That takes a ton of getting used to. A ton. I live around the clock on private property. I spend my day in strip mall parking lots, cooking or something. I spend my nights sometimes in the same parking lots. Every now and then, a friend will lend me their driveway, but even then, I'm a guest, I never truly have privacy. It's hard to find privacy and feel like you have a place you can retreat to. I don't have a place I can retreat to for days at a time, like I did when I had an apartment or a house, That's the hardest part of van life. So I think I was talking about YouTubers. Yeah. Any YouTubers you can find, like, showing you the day-to-day of living in a vehicle, I would follow that. I stopped following van life on YouTube once I started living in here. You know what I mean? Like, I need an escape from reality in my free time. So I don't know who the van life YouTubers even are anymore. No one could cook birdseed like you do. I love birdseed. I hate that it's called birdseed because that makes it sound like it's something not edible. Most birdseed is like seeds that caveman ate. It's just like seeds we still eat. I did actually buy birdseed from Tractor Supply because you can get like 50 pounds of the stuff for $10. I washed it all and I was cooking for it for a while, but people would not shut up in the comments about it. So now I'm just replicating my own birdseed. Unfortunately, it's kind of expensive. Like if you buy all the seed ingredients, I don't know why there's such a huge price differential from assembling your own birdseed from the grocery store versus just buying a bag at Tractor Supply. There's like 10 or 20 fold price differential between it. But I love seeds. I love grains. I feel like they fluff up any meal. They're great to eat. Super chats are good for the channel, even though they take 30%. Yes, super chats are what are going to keep me here, because if I don't get super chats, I'm never going to do a live stream again. I'll just be straight up with you. Like, this is work, this takes a lot out of me. And live streams are different from regular videos because they have like no rewatchability. You know what I mean? Like, it's the people who watch it once. When you go to a YouTuber's channel, you don't look for all their old live streams from years ago and watch them. You know what I mean? So I need a reason to do this. It's work, folks. Actually, believe it or not, I'm in the process of making a video called Behind the Scenes of My Live Stream. This is like halfway through it right now. I have like 12 minutes recorded of everything I did up to this, and then I'll do like more after this. It's probably going to be a very interesting video. I might have it done by tomorrow. I'm not sure. I'm like working overtime here with the YouTube stuff. Matt, follow Trent the Traveler. Check out his build. Okay, what is he riding? What is his van? Is it a ProMaster Transit Sprinter? Trent the Traveler. I'll check him out. Static Camper Van, says Frank. I will check him out. Are they in the Northeast by any chance? I have a penchant for people who are like in cities. You know what I mean? Doing an urban van dwelling, because that's what I have to do. If they're just like out in the desert and stuff, that's like, I've been there, done that. You know what I mean? But I will check them out. Should add sesame seeds. I have a ton of sesame seeds. How's my chaga? My chaga is almost done, folks. I'm almost done with this. Very good stuff. Love static AMSR master. I don't know what people are talking about here. I am missing stuff in the chat. Rockin' Robin Bird, thank you very much for the super chat. Rockin' Robin, great song. Is that a Chuck Berry song by any chance? Hi, Matt, fellow mass person here. I'm newer to your channel. My boyfriend and I love your videos. We plan to visit the places you show we haven't been to. Well, thank you. I'm going to like your comment. I guess I can't do that. Thank you, Robin. I've been to every state except Alaska, and Massachusetts, for being a geographically small state, has a lot to offer. Like, in terms of diversity, most states are like not that diverse. Even Wyoming, which gets a lot of, hoo-ha for having the Tetons and stuff. Wyoming is 99% barren wasteland. Not even worth driving through. 99%. It's just flat. Massachusetts has nothing like that. Every town, every village, there's cool hills, trails, parks, tons of history here. I could do like a whole YouTube just about the history of Eastern Massachusetts alone. Don't underestimate Massachusetts. Beautiful stuff here. All of New England. Very, very beautiful. Of course, I'm biased because I'm from here, but I have been all over the country. I would say like this part of the country, Mass, has the highest concentration of different cool, interesting hikes and museums and things, all within close proximity to each other. You don't have to drive through a desert for like 3 hours to get to the next site. You know what I mean? Van Theft Auto, thank you for the super chat. Matt, you should do an East Coast van meetup. Yeah, I thought about doing something like that. a year or two ago, I started to organize that. Like, the only way I could figure out how to organize that was if I booked the site, the location myself, like under my own credit card, and then everyone would show up to that. That's too much liability for me. I did something like that like 20 years ago. I organized like this Reddit meetup when Reddit was just a starter company in Boston. I organized the whole thing. Like 50 people came. Guess what? Like after they all left, like 10 people didn't pay their bills. They skipped out in the bill. I had to cover everyone. I don't want something like that to happen for a van life meetup. I would love to do a van life meetup as long as I'm not financially liable for all the trash or whatever happens, like left behind from that. You know what I mean? But I think that would be a great idea. We definitely need to like organize something like that. There is something called Van Fest USA. I went to that last summer and it was great. It was in the Cape Falmouth, I want to say. The guys who organized that do a phenomenal job. It was fantastic. The only thing I did not like about that was you can't just leave. You're like locked in. And like I remember I wanted to leave early in the morning. I couldn't because it's gated in. I understand why they gate it. They don't want people who didn't pay coming in. But there needs to be a way for people who are in to leave, even in the middle of the night, without being locked behind a gate. I had to like ask someone for permission and like it was a hoo-ha. So I'm not sure I would do the Van Fest thing again. But that is the closest thing we have to like an East Coast van life meetup sort of thing. Paraglide 2004, $50. Thank you very much, man. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. You just made this worth it. You just made this whole thing worth it for me. That is huge. Thank you very much. Rock and Robin, again, thank you for the super chat. Van Theft Auto, yeah, Van Life Meetup. Thank you for that. I responded to that. Mountain Walkie, I think you're from upstate New York, right? You're from the Northeast. Mountain Walkie. I've seen your comments a lot. You seem to have, I think you have a hydronic heating system yourself, right? I'm not sure if I've ever seen your van. Maybe I have. You have a lot of great comments, though. He uses the same shop I do, Built for the East in Granby, Mass, which is like the only van outfitter company in New England that is like worth a damn. You know, they do phenomenal work. Mountain Walkie says, on a road trip from Central Mass, and we are watching your live stream. Cool. You're in Central Mass right now. Oh, you're in Galveston, Texas. Awesome. When does hurricane season start up? I think the worst hurricane in history like destroyed Galveston, Texas, right? But thank you, Mountain Walkie. Thank you for following and thank you for commenting. I read your comments all the time. You have some great advice. Learned a lot from you. I think I learned about the window insulation things possibly from you. Someone linked me to great window insulation things. Next winter, if I am stuck in a cold environment, I have these big window insulation things to put over the windshield and put over the passenger and driver side window to preserve the heat. That should make a huge difference. I do have like my van insulated. People think it's not insulated. I have like the Thinsulate, the synthetic wool. I have like everything insulated except the cockpit. What I could have done was put a bulkhead there and seal it off, and this would retain heat perfectly. It would be great. Problem with that is when I open that up in the morning to drive, it's going to be icicles in there. I kind of want the cockpit to be warm too, but I can't insulate everything. I'm going to have the windows insulated next winter. That should make a huge difference. I think I got that from Mountain Walkie's comment some time back. Come and visit the UK. I would love to. Oh my God. I would love to do a road trip for like a month through the UK, Scotland. I have family from Scotland. My grandfather's from Edinburgh. I would love to do that. I don't know. You know, some people actually ship their van like over on a ferry or something to Europe. I've seen people do that. I have no idea how much that costs. Maybe I can find a sponsor to pay for that or something. I would totally do that. I love the UK. I did go to the UK in 2009. Believe it or not, I didn't travel at all. I barely ever left Massachusetts until I was 28 years old, until I finished grad school. I didn't come out of my shell until I finished grad school. And I'm about to turn 30 and I've never traveled anywhere. So I took a month off of work, negotiated that, and went to the UK, spent like 3 weeks in London. And I love that city. My favorite city on earth is London. Also went to like Paris and stayed in hostels and stuff. Had a grand old time. But I would love to go back to the UK, Polar Red. You're in the UK right now? What time is it there? Isn't it like 2 in the morning or something? And you're watching? That is awesome. I'm trying to catch up here. Could you bring a tube up from your vent to above the bed? Yeah, I could. I could snake it so the hot air blows out right next to my bed here, but that's a lot of work, and I kind of, believe it or not, I like sleeping down there on the floor. When I first built out my van, before I had anything in here, look at my first few videos. I just had like crates and stuff. I slept down on the floor. I did that so much I became nostalgic for it, that I sometimes sleep down on the floor. It's kind of fun. It's like camping within camping, you know? It's like, even when I had my apartment, I like sleeping on my couch better than I like sleeping in my bed. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But yeah, I could snake a tube to blow hot air right next to my head here up in the bed. Might do that. Matt, just curious, what type of work do you do? I'm a financial analyst right now in my new job. Yeah. Have you visited the Keystone Arch Bridges? I have. I've done a few videos there. I did a video about the murder house that's right there. The guy from New Jersey that was trying to build an artist colony there, ended up murdering his wife and his lover and stuff, and the house just went into ruin. The ruins are still there. The Keystone Arch Bridges Trail in Chester, Massachusetts. If any of y'all are coming to Mass, that's a trail you must do. These are bridges built in 1830. The first train bridges in the world built through a mountain pass were built right here in Massachusetts, in Chester, 1830. And they're still standing. Like, these bridges, they're still standing. They're amazing. Frank Reynolds, member for 2 months. Ever considered doing some ASMR videos? You hike to some beautiful trails. First of all, ASMR, isn't that where you like whisper into the mic? No, I would not do that. Do you like that? I thought that was like gimmicky. Do people actually like if I do a whole video whispering into the mic? I would find that very odd. But I don't know. Maybe I'll do a short like that and you can see how you like it. He's not an auditor. I was an auditor. In my last job, I was an auditor. And I've changed careers a few times. I went to college. I studied electrical engineering for a couple of years and then realized I didn't want to do that anymore for a career. And worked for a consulting firm, did consulting for a while, and then started working for a client. Yeah. Great thing about careers, you can take them anywhere you want, you know? As long as you get in the interview pile, you can sell yourself to do anything. Careers have a way of like radically changing for me every so often. Hello from Natick. I've been watching since the beginning. Well, thank you. Thank you. The idea of living in a van full-time in Mass is fascinating. You're a great storyteller. Thank you, Joseph. Yeah, I tell you, when I first got into the van life, I was scared. Shit, try not to swear, but I was so scared. My last apartment, I got the van July 15th on my birthday, and my lease expired on August 31st, and I didn't know what the hell I was going to do. As the days counted down, like, I got the address sorted out right away. Thankfully, my dad was still alive. He let me use his house as the address, so I didn't have to deal with that. But man, Van life in Mass, folks, it's hard, you know. Out in the West, when I've done my road trips, I've had no problems finding places to sleep. They have federal lands out there where you can boondock. You can just pull in and stay. They say 14 days, but there's plenty of people who stay there longer than that. Mass, we ain't got nothing like that. You gotta like just risk it, sleep overnight at some parking lots and just like keep your fingers crossed and just pay attention to security. There's almost no place to park here. Thankfully, thank you actually to YouTube, I built up a network of people helping me along the way. Frank in Chester with a nuke bunker has offered me places to stay. Someone's offering me a business in Burlington so I don't have to sleep at the old country store there. I want to try that out next time I'm in Mass. But yeah, van life in Mass, it's hard, man. You know, like to actually go through it. I try to show everything I go through, but it's hard. But you know what? It saves a ton of money. I think Massachusetts has like the highest cost of living or like the highest average property value. The average home price in Mass is something like $800,000 now. And I don't want to pay that like as a single income earner. I feel like I have a house now, you know? I can actually enjoy life now since I moved into a van. Even with all my spending on coffee shops and stuff, folks, I've done the math on this. My monthly expenditures are between a quarter and a third of what they were if I was still renting my one bedroom apartment. Between a quarter and a third. You know what I'm doing with all that money saved? I'm investing it. For the first time in my life, I have like a huge investment portfolio. Been throwing it all into the stock market, which might crash soon enough this year. We'll see. But I feel like better than I ever have in my life. I'm financially secure. It's thanks to van life in this expensive ass state. So it's definitely doable living in a van in Massachusetts. If you're considering it, you feel like you're just like making all your money to pay rent, you're not saving anything at all, not getting ahead, and you're just getting older and the years are dropping off the calendar. I did it. I've survived. It's doable. Just trying to help because we know he all gets sidetracked. I got sidetracked. What did I miss? Let me try to read up. Miss Grinnell Mass, thank you very much for the super chat. Thank you so much. You're in Galveston, Texas. Yeah. Are you the same person that was in Galveston? No, that was Mountain Walkie. Oh, you're the wife of Mountain Walkie. Okay. Well, thank you both for watching. Thank you for commenting. I see your husband's comments all the time, and thank you for the super chat. I feel like someone gave me a $59 super chat, and I'm trying to find them now, folks. Give me some time. Heist444, 20 bucks, the 3 Ps. Yes, thank you so much. Pretzels, paper towels, and water. 3 things I have to buy every other day. Paper towels are like the bread and butter of van life. I swear to God, I use them for everything. Just like I find myself buying them. Water, you know, I only have enough space to store 3 gallons of water in there. So a lot of people comment, why do I buy water from convenience stores so much? Listen, I stock up on gallons of water at the cheap grocery stores when I can, when I'm at them. I can't like fill up a whole pantry full of them. I can only buy like 2 at a time. That's all that space I have. And you can't find cheap grocery stores like in the city wherever I'm dwelling at the time. If I spend all day in Boston working and it's 5 p.m., I'm not going to like drive 90 minutes out of the city to go to the cheap grocery store just to save like $1 on water and then drive all the way back or something. You know what I mean? So I buy expensive water at convenience stores sometimes because it makes sense. My time is money. I am trying to find that super chat. Hold on. I'm reversing. Someone gave me I swear I saw a $59 super chat and I am missing it. If I missed your super chat, I promise I will come to the comments later and respond to you all. But thank you so much. Rockin' Robin, Mountain Walkie. There's got to be a way to like see the super chats in this thing, but I don't know how to use YouTube. Only my third time doing this. That's awesome. I'd love to do that. I'm lone wandering wolf. Yes, he has a van. He's based in like New Hampshire or Vermont, I think. Lone wandering wolf. He has a YouTube channel. I follow him. I see him from time to time. He lays low during the winter, but you can find out a lot of cool, awesome campgrounds through his channel, Lone Wandering Wolf. If you're looking for another van life YouTuber in the Northeast, follow him. Yeah, campground recommendations. So I booked a few Saturday nights at Lake Denison in, I forgot the name of the town. Is it Winchendon that is in? I will be there several Saturdays this summer. I love Lake Denison. If you're coming to Mass, I recommend Lake Denison. You know why I love it? Because it's got a big open lake right there with a big open sky. You can catch sunsets and stuff. It's got like a beach you can swim at right there. It's got good, clean facilities. And it's got awesome trails and a little river you can throw your kayak on. It's got like everything you want in the campground all in one place. And it's right there in Central Mass. Hopefully, I'm cutting down on the Pepsi. I'm trying to, Evil Zipper. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm still a Diet Coke addict. I have like a big thing of it right here. I was like drinking seltzer water for a while, switched to it, but somehow that just kind of weaned its way back into, yeah. I tried to cut down on caffeine last year. That lasted like 3 weeks, about as long as the pretzel thing. It's habits are hard to break, folks, especially dietary ones. Financial analyst that buys gallons of propane in 1 pound. Well, I buy the propane in 1 pound bottles because what's the alternative? I ain't storing a 20-pound thing of propane in my van. How do you get Cabela's to Cumbies? Cabela's to Cumbies? How do you get from Cabela's to Cumbies? A Cumbies can be a Cabela's. Is that what you mean? Cabela's, I've explained it before. So growing up, I thought Cabela's was the name of the diner in Seinfeld. Like, I know in real life it's called Tom's Restaurant. It's in the Upper West Side. I've been to it. I thought in Seinfeld, the diner that the gang hung around with in the morning, like chatted, had breakfast and stuff. I thought it was called Cabela's in the show. So I grew up thinking Cabela's was like a neighborhood hangout joint. And I just started calling places like that Cabela's for like 20 years until I think like 3 years ago, might have been through a YouTube comment. Someone pointed out that Cabela's is a sporting goods store that you can sleep overnight in. But by that time, the word Cabela's is deep ingrained in my mind as a neighborhood hangout. You know what I mean? So when I go to a gas station that has like, to be a Cabela's, you got to have like a little table there for people to sit and play Keno in. There's middle-aged Greek men, sometimes Chinese, sometimes Portuguese, sitting around talking politics, drinking coffee, shooting the shit. That's a Cabela's. A place where I can get my coffee, sit down, play Keno, chat, maybe there's a TV, a convenience store. That's a Cabela's, a neighborhood hangout place to me. That's a Cabela's. A Cumbies are rarely Cabela's because they often don't have the little table. You got to have a table to be at Cabela's. So does that explain why a Cumbies can be a Cabela's? I think that's what that person was asking, right? Pretzels, paper towels, and water. Yeah, 3 things I buy like every day, if not every other day, probably. Paraglide did a $50 super chat. Thank you, Paraglide. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I'm like way behind here. Someone is boondocking. Just Judy is in the National Forest 15 miles from my Sticks and Bricks. That's awesome. How long you boondocking there, Just Judy? How long are you going to stay there? How long have you been there already? I would love to have like a little piece of woods. I do stay at trailheads sometimes go down old logging roads. They're not maintained in the winter, but I would not do like more than one night at them because other people do come through and it's just different in Mass. We don't have boondocking land in Mass. Vermont has like a national forest that has a couple sites where you can stay for 14 days, but I don't think Mass has any at all. It's very different. Mad Mac, do I like almond joys? Not really. I'm not a big fan of like sweets, chocolate. Not really. I like almonds. I would put them in my birdseed mix. I think they're a little pricey though. That's honey mustard seasoned pretzels. Yes, Yankee Clipper. You nailed it. Those are awesome pretzels. Those are awesome. They have like 140 calories per serving, whereas the regular pretzels are 110. So you gotta be careful with Dot stuff. They put a lot more sugar and calories in them. I don't know how, but they are good. My newest favorite pretzels are those dill stuff that you can find at the grocery store. They are so salty, folks. They nuke my mouth. I eat an entire bag of those vinegar dill pretzels. I tell you, I wake up in the morning, my mouth is just so burnt. It feels like a third-degree burn inside in there, and I can't taste anything else for the rest of the day. They're so good, though. That's why I don't eat them every day. Carbella's merch, yeah, they should sponsor me. I give them a lot of name recognition. Cracker Barrels. The Cracker Barrels in Holyoke is definitely Cabela's. That is such a neighborhood hangout. Like, that is just like every time I go in there, there's like the same people all hanging out, having breakfast and stuff. I don't have breakfast at that Cabela's though, because they don't have bagels on their menu. I looked, I did my due diligence. I do buy my stuff when I'm at the Holyoke Cabela's though. I buy the marijuana moisturizer. It's like marijuana and goat milk and like lavender and maybe something else. They mash it all up and it's the best moisturizer ever. Do I have it right here? No, it's in my gym bag right now. So I do patronize the Holyoke Cabela's when I'm there. Even though I don't eat, I buy stuff. Do you have any sponsors, guys? I am so behind. My email inbox is blasted with sponsorship requests. Like there are over 100 I have not responded to. I want to, like so many people trying to give me like air conditioners and stuff. I think Radical Nomadical, I don't know if he's watching here right now. I think I'm going to do a video, get him an air conditioner and e-bikes and scooters up the wazoo. I tell you guys, even with 17,000 followers, YouTube is like a full-time job if you really want to do everything you're supposed to do. Make good thumbnails, respond to sponsors, and I just don't have the time. I need help. I wish I had a helper. I wish Evil Zipper could help me more than she can. She has a job too. It's hemp and goat milk moisturizer. Yes, that's what it is. That's marijuana. Marijuana is hemp, right? That's what it has on the label. Van Theft Auto, $20 super chat. Thank you very much, dude. Thank you. I appreciate that. Paraglide. Am I live? Can you all hear me now? Oh my god. I don't know what happened, guys. How many people did I lose? I lost almost everyone. I am so sorry. I don't know what happened. I think it's my phone, which I'm using as it just everything went black. It booted me off of the screen, and I'm using my MacBook camera right now. So I got to look at this thing. But you know what? Oh my god, I lost 200 people. Those of you who just stayed on for the last, how long was I gone? Like 5 minutes, 6 minutes? Was it longer than that? I don't even know. Thank you all for that. I appreciate that. Fish Cat, $50. Welcome back. Thank you, man. Oh my god. Thank you. Yeah. There's always something, doing these live streams, you have so much you have to worry about. guys. I'm gonna be like looking at my screen. Where is the actual camera? I should be looking at the green dot there. Fish Cat, 50 bucks. Thank you so much for the live chat. Thank you for staying online, hanging in there with me, and not dropping me with me. Yeah, I lost my connection. I'm so sorry, folks. I lost my connection and my camera. I think it's my phone, the connection between the camera and the computer. Something happened. I am sorry. Van Theft Auto, thank you for the $20 super chat. Oh, there's 200 people now. People are coming back. Guys, I was down for like 6, 7 minutes. This happened with my very first live stream, too. My Christmas Eve live stream. I had like over 1,000 people. Then the internet went down, and I lost like a third of the people never came back, unfortunately. That might happen again tonight, but there's still 200 of you with me here. And I thank you so much for hanging in there, staying in here while I had nothing. What is my audio like? Is this still working? I can't tell if it's my laptop audio I'm in or like the mic. The audio good? All right, maybe it was just a couple minutes. No, I am hardwired to someone's router right now. So I don't know what happened there. Yeah, my screen just went black and it booted me. Very weird. Very weird. Folks, I am almost done with my chaga. I'm gonna finish this. I'm doing okay. I feel like I have more energy now than I had like before I started this. I got up super early, 6:30. Was very nervous about today. Had a lot of stuff at work I was trying to finish before the end of the day, and I didn't actually finish. And then I'm like running around in the narrow window between work and the start of this, like I'd wanted to go to the grocery store and get dandelions and stuff. I did not have time for that. Thank you for my friends for getting me the chaga. Let's finish that chaga. Hmm. Audio is tolerable. Okay, well, I guess that's good enough. There's still 230 people on. Yeah, do we have anyone from like Asia? I'm curious. Maybe I'll pull this down. It's a bit of a different camera angle, folks. I'm sorry. That's why I have redundancy here. I have a backup camera that is thankfully working. Oh my god. Yeah, there's some streaming software you can get where you can have like multiple cameras and multiple audio inputs and stuff. I'm not that sophisticated yet. I'm just trying to get this show on the road. Just finding myself a good secure internet connection is hard enough as it is. You know what I mean? Live stream a meal prep session. Yeah, I don't know if that can logistically work. Like I focus on the cooking, focus on what's happening on the screen. Very hard to do both at the same time. For these live streams, what I want is like a helper, someone who can like text me when the audio goes down and the video goes down, and like screenshots, like good questions and stuff in the chat screen and text them to me. I need like a helper with this stuff. Unfortunately. Agenda says time to take another shot. No, you know what? One shot is all I need because I have a lot I want to do tomorrow, and I'm about ready to pass the heck out. I'm actually gonna finish this chaga. I've got like a quarter of it left. I just wanted to come back online and say thank you. How's my merch store doing? Maybe I was disconnected when I was talking about that. The merch store did great. Like after I announced it, I have a merch store link on my YouTube, by the way. It's through redbubble.com. I don't use the YouTube store because like they take 30%. They take more than that. But my Redbubble store, I've made a few sales here and there. If you ever run into me in person, I have a whole bunch of stickers that I got. I'll give you one of my under the radar van life stickers that I made. Why is your shirt design the wrong class van? My shirt design. Because I could not find like a stock Ford Transit. I tried, like without just taking like a photo of an actual transit and trying to like manually convert it. It's just it was too much work. And also I don't want people who watch me just to be like people in transits, you know, as a little more generic. Yeah. I did what I can with the merch store, folks. You don't have to buy stuff, but if you can, help me out more than like the YouTube store. Your merch store is not individual. Yeah, I recycled the merch store I had from my art and photography days, so it's all jumbled together. I just don't have time to make a separate merch store that's all strictly under the same stuff. I still make sales of my art and my photography prints through my merch store. So, am I moving to Florida? Not anytime soon, but it's possible. I see other people like live at campgrounds in Florida, so I see that that's an option. So, hello from Alabama. I'd love to get back to Alabama. I loved it there. I went to the Space Museum in Huntsville where they tested and built all the rockets for the Apollo program. Awesome museum in Huntsville. One of my favorites. Polar Red, did he discover gaffer tape yet? I've used gaffer tape in the past. The reason I don't use it more often is because you can only order it online. I can't find it in like Michael's, the art supply stores. And tape is one of those things I need it right away, you know? Three P's merch. I'll consider it. I'll consider it. Much warmer weather. Much warmer weather is coming. You know, I looked at the 10-day forecast and it's like today's the warmest of the 10 days. So warmer weather can't come soon enough. I'm fine with rain. I'm fine with gloom. Just give me temperatures in the 50s and 60s. Please, please. It's actually going to get down in the 20s tonight. The only state I have not been to is Alaska. I've been to every other state except Alaska. When I go to Alaska, I would not bring the van to Alaska. I would bring like a throwaway car because there's a very good chance I'll have to abandon it on like a highway or something. This is my home. I don't want to abuse it that much. I will make it to Alaska someday. Hello from Thailand. Who's from Thailand? Original, what is it? Original said tales from Bangkok. Wow. What time is it there right now in Bangkok? That's amazing. I would love to go to Bangkok. Take a trip to Lake George, Fort William, Henry. Well, Secret 007, I will in fact be doing that in June. When I do my road trip, Great Lakes road trip, I'm going to Fort Ticonderoga first, actually. And then I'll be doing Erie Canal thing. So I'll be doing a whole video about Lake George and Fort Ticonderoga and some of the history about there. I love that area. What time is it in Bangkok? 9:17 AM? Wow. Well, thank you for getting up early to watch me. I appreciate that. I like the iPhone style videos better as opposed to yeah, I just record everything on my phone because it's easier. You know, the thing about, like, having multiple cameras and stuff, just the act of transferring the media from all the different devices onto your laptop takes so long. Like, it just takes so long and, like, it just I couldn't manage to get out a video every other day if I was doing everything on, like, dedicated cameras and tran Yeah, my iPhone camera has done very well, you know, I think. My drone quality footage is not the best, but I got those drones for free, folks. I got them from sponsors, so I didn't have to pay for them. And the thing is, I lose drones so much, I lose them like I lose tripods and umbrellas and gloves. It's not something I would pay for if I can get a sponsor to buy it for me. What do I think of the Mac Neo? I don't know. I have a MacBook Pro right now that I just got that I love. I'm very vested in the Macintosh environment. I love it. They've been great quality. Apple does a lot of things that piss me off, but for the most part, the quality of their products is amazing. I noticed you can turn off your green light buttons. Oh, yeah, in my phone, I can turn off the green light button all the time. I just forget. That's it. I just forget. There's a little power button you hold down a couple seconds and it turns that off. But then when I use those buttons, it's like the whole thing just comes back on and stays on. I love those though. That overhead fog light, amber light thing is the best thing ever. It has saved my life on some of these dark, foggy nights. Yeah, very happy with that. 3 Ps are pretzels, paper towels, and water. The 3 most common things that I buy them every other day. Yeah. Yeah, I have 2 things left I can put on my Switch panel, folks. So 2 more electronic gizmos. I've ruled out getting an electronic awning. I've seen they just break too much, but maybe something else. Folks, I finished my chaga. Folks. You know what? I'm getting tired, so I think I'm gonna wrap this up. I wanna thank all of you who have given me super chats, like Fish Cat. There's a bunch of you. I will thank you all later. Thank you for all for watching, and thank you for staying and coming back even when I went on offline. Like 200 people came back. That is amazing. You guys are the best. Thanks for joining me tonight. I needed to celebrate. It's been a long, cold winter. Thank you, Frank Reynolds. Thank you, Evil Zipper, for helping me out tonight. Thank you for like everything. Thank you, everyone, folks. Yeah. All right. Ugh. That's it. I'm calling it a night. I got to figure out how to end the stream. Thank you again. I might have a video up tomorrow. My next video, before I go, my next video is a behind the scenes of this whole thing. So I'm not done tonight. I got to record like 12 more minutes of content. I got a ways to go. Until then, that's my next video. Folks, peace out. Have a great spring. Enjoy tomorrow, the first weekend of spring, the first full day. Do something special. Have a great night.